What's up guys, Nate here. Today is going to be a little bit of a different video, I will say. So to start off, I've mentioned a couple times in community polls and on the channel that I've actually started to play Pokemon more competitively. Actually, I guess the TCG, the card game, so I figured it's about time that I actually do some content on this. I mean, it's still in the Pokemon realm of things. It's something I've really been enjoying, and it still has, it's really involved in the cards still, so it's not too far of the realm of what we've been doing on the channel. So today is going to be my first kind of step in that direction, and I kind of have a cool video to go along with it, so I figured why not? Let's give it a shot. And for sure, I really will appreciate you guys giving your opinions on this kind of new, different style of content down in the comments below. It really helps me kind of dictate how I want to make the videos better for you guys and myself, and kind of both help each other out, I guess. But anyways, basically the premise of today's video is I competed in one of my first Pokemon tournaments. I've done 3 now. My placements have actually been 2nd, 7th, and then of course the one I'm going to be talking about today is 1st place. Yes, that is right. I won my first Pokemon tournament. So this was actually a big milestone for me as a player, I guess. I don't know. It was a cool moment for me, especially to be able to win this tournament. I mean, it is actually the first tournament that Studio 151 has ever held. If you guys don't know, I am a big fan of Studio 151. I go down there all the time. I actually started playing there too. That's kind of where I started testing my decks originally out. So I just kind of have a long history of playing Pokemon, I guess, recent history at Studio 151. The owner Trey and I have actually went to regionals together to go check that out too. So I've been around Studio 151 a lot playing Pokemon, so I'm glad that actually my first tournament victory came at Studio 151. So I guess we can kind of talk about how that went and kind of what my matchups were, what deck I was playing. But yeah, so I played Lost Tina, or Giratina V-Star Lost Zone is kind of the deck. It has a bunch of different names. Lost Tina is kind of the more, I guess, commonly heard name of it, but I played Lost Tina, and we did agree in this tournament that we were going to use Paradox Rift legal cards. So at the time of the tournament, Paradox Rift was actually not legal yet, but we decided that it was going to be legal for this event because why not? It's a local tournament and we can test out some new cards. So I actually played Lost Giratina with some counter catchers thrown into that, which I've been testing online for a little bit and I've had a lot of fun with. So that is that. I will actually pop my list on the screen right now. I might leave it on for a little bit just so you guys can check it out and as we kind of go through this tournament recap. But it was a 4-round tournament and then I guess like a finals at the end. So basically for my matchups, I went 3-1 in the regular kind of round robin settings, and then I was able to go on to the finals where I was placed against obviously Professor Frank. If you're watching this, some of you probably don't know him, but he's a guy who I test all of my decks with at Studio 151. I've been playing with him for a very, very long time. So of course, the 2 people who play the most in Studio 151 ended up going to the top of this tournament, and we had to duke it out, but I'll get to that in a little bit. The first round of the tournament, I actually played against a Leafeon VMAX deck with Spite Ops. It was a pretty cool deck. I actually helped to build this deck. It is the deck of course, as many of you may know, Top Pops. Tristan ran this deck. He came along with me, along with his brother, to the tournament who played Lugia Single Strike, and I think he did pretty well. I think they both actually did pretty fairly in the tournament, and it was their first time actually playing Pokemon, I guess with other people outside of me or online, so that was cool that I got to bring them out, and they had an awesome time doing that. But yeah, I played Tristan in the first round. I had, it was a best of 3 kind of round setup, so I had a win-win against Tristan. He played a really good game though still. I know it does sound bad when you're just like, oh, win-win, but he played a really good game. It's an interesting deck to play against too, especially where they can lock you in the active with Spite Ops, and the Calamitous Wasteland really helps to, I guess, stop you moving around the board, with which of course with Lost Box you're trying to move around the board as much as possible, get your comb phase up, attach energies, and you know, do a lot of things in one turn, and slowing down your retreats are definitely something that hinders that. But I was able to edge out the victory there, which was super, super awesome. And we moved on to the second round, and where I played against a Clefable EX deck, which funny enough I actually had played against the night prior at a league challenge. It was the same pilot or trainer there who was able to run that deck, and I was able to have another victory against it. If you guys did see my Instagram, you probably saw I posted my tournament results, which I did have a win-win against that deck, but I was able to get another win-win the following night against the same deck. So it's always, I feel a little bad beating up on the same decks, but it's alright. Hey, it's how people get better. Some people lose. I've lost a lot of games, so I know too, but it was really cool. It was a solid deck to play against. It was really interesting with the Tulip in there to kind of get psychic energies out. It relied a lot on Stantler, or Wide Ear V to actually move up to the active, absorb a bunch of energies and just do like really big massive damage. They were able to knock out a couple of my Giratinas too, so it like actually was a pretty competitive match going back and forth, actually thinking back on it, but I had a good time. It was ended up being a good solid victory for me. I was able to take the dub there. Of course, Tina V-Star, once you get it set up in that active, it's really hard to take down because you can just keep swinging and swinging and taking down these big 2 or even 3 prizers. So of course we went 2-0 in the first 2 rounds, which means I played my good old deck testing buddy Professor Frank, and of course that match we went to a full series of 3, which unfortunately I lost in the last round to his Miraidon deck, and it is an insanely good deck, and the rest of this video is going to be kind of funny because there's a lot of talk about Miraidon, but I ended up losing that round there, and it was alright, but I was a little bit disappointed because it was a really, really close series. We came down really close on prizes, but I unfortunately ended up dropping it. I couldn't close the game out, but it happens, and that's okay. I remember telling Frank that I'm like, oh man, I'll get you next time, and then, of course, the next round, because a couple people ended up dropping in the tournament, and the way it kind of works with top placements is you pin the, I guess, the best people in the tournament so far against each other. Frank and I actually had to end up playing again, because Frank was the only 3-0 person in the tournament, and I was the only 2-1 one remaining, so we had the best record. So, of course, we played against each other again, which went to, of course, another 3-game series where I was able to snuff out the victory. I was able to get some Path to the Peaks down and stop the Miraidon from setting down on the bench. Frank didn't actually play any Lost Vacuum, so he couldn't actually get the stadium out of play. So as soon as I was able to get Path in there and shut down the Miraidon from kind of setting up the board, I was able to kind of take the game away from him a little bit and kind of go a little slower and get my Lost Zone set up more consistently and be able to use the Sableye to clean up, and also the Lost Tina to just slug away at some big 2 prizers. So I ended up taking that series there, which was really cool. I mean, it was funny because I talked to Frank. I'm like, oh man, next weekend when we play just testing decks, I'm like, I'm gonna get my revenge. But I guess my revenge came sooner than I thought, and I was able to actually knock out the victory there, which put me in the tournament to 3-1, but it also put Frank to 3-1, and of course that means we still had the best record. So to finish the day off, to decide who got first place and second place, because there was some actual cool prizes on the line, which I can't say right now because you guys know I already won the tournament, so I'll show you the prize at the end, which we will be opening that at the end. But we ended up playing in the final round, which of course again went to 3 games. So we actually played 9 games against Frank, which was, I mean, it was a long day of Pokemon, but hey, it was an awesome experience. Frank's an awesome competitor. It was super cool to go against him. The matches were back and forth the whole time, so I can't really be mad. It was a tough game, but I think it overall made me better as a Pokemon player. But of course, this series, the first game, I was able to get one of the nastiest plays off I've ever been able to do, and I actually, funny enough, did this twice in this series, but I was able to move my Cramorant up to the active, take a swing onto his Raikou to knock him down to 90 health remaining, and then I was able to get my Radiant Greninja set up the following turn, escape rope, send the Raikou to the bench, and then hit a Flaffy in the Raikou for a 3 prize attack, which was honestly crazy. I don't typically use Greninja in Lost Tina. I know a lot of players don't typically. It's more of a draw engine and kind of a threat, but today I kind of leaned into that attacker, and it served me well. I was able to take 3 prizes in 2 different games with the Moonlight Shuriken attack there, which actually pretty much helped me win the game, because once you go up like 3 prizes and they're still at 6, it's a hard trade to get back into. But of course we were able to get the job done there, and I was able to take the 3 prizes, which ended up setting me up to later take the victory, because his board was just kind of in a broken state after that. Once you take 2 big attackers and an engine off the board, it's hard to kind of get back into that setup routine and get the deck going again. So once I was able to kind of shut that down in both games, it was pretty much an easy roll. The game in the middle, which Frank actually did take, was a tough one, man. I had to go second. I had a bricky start. I wasn't able to get my Colresses out and get the Lost Zone going. So of course that resulted in me taking a pretty nasty loss there, but I was okay. Battled back in the last series and took the dub to win the tournament, which was a super cool experience. I mean, I had to play 9 games against Frank to win this tournament out, but overall I would say that it was a pretty awesome tournament. And for coming in first place at the Studio 151 first ever Underground Pokemon League night, I was able to win a Paradox Rift Elite Trainer box, which we are going to be opening up in a couple seconds here, but yeah, I mean, we were able to win this pretty solid for a small entry tournament. I'm pretty happy about that. And massive shout out to Studio 151 and Trey, the owner over there, for setting an awesome event up and having a good time playing some cards. I know I'll be back there for sure. And if you guys are from the area, keep an eye out for any events going on at Studio 151. I'm hoping there's going to be some more in the near future too. With I think the play environment there is kind of getting going with some more competitive players rolling in and playing more often. But anyways, without any further ado, I guess now that we are done recapping the tournament, let's go open this ETB pretty quickly because I know you guys have already seen it. But we'll open it up, see if we can hit any Roaring Moons, maybe for a deck. But anyways, I guess let's go down to the minicam and rip some packs. So the 9 packs of Paradox Rift for winning the tournament are here. We're gonna open them up, see if we can get anything good out of them. I mean, I would hope for some awesome playables. Countercatcher did come in handy, so maybe we could pull a gold Countercatcher to kind of bling out the old Giratina deck. And actually, before we get into it, I can quickly, I guess, fan through the list here. It's all shuffled up now, but there is some spicy cards in there. I know you guys saw the list, but this is the deck that did win it all there with a nice Giratina. I think I actually have the fancy one in here somewhere kicking around. There it is there. I gotta keep it spicy a little bit. I think my limited decks has to be the $100 card. I think that's the most I'll ever bling a deck out with. I did see someone there, funny enough, with a alt art Giratina in the deck, which was a little bit crazy to see a $400 card getting shuffled around, but hey, I guess to each their own to some degree, and they can shuffle what they want. But I know for me personally, that Tina is the highest I'll go in a deck. But maybe if we can get a golden Countercatcher today to kind of bling these decks out, I would greatly appreciate that. But if any of you guys have been playing the TCG, I would also really like to know that. I kind of want to know what everyone's opinions around here are on the TCG with a Seadra there, Magby, and into a Koffarigas EX, not too shabby there. But yeah, I would love to know kind of everyone's opinions on the TCG. Are you playing? Do you want to play and get into it? Because I would love to do like kind of a, even if it's like a beginner series to kind of, I guess a lot of people on the channel are more into the collecting side. Now, of course, a lot of collectors do play. It is kind of an easy jump to make, I would say, but I know there are a lot of collectors who have just don't know a lot about it and would just kind of want, even if it's just a little information, to kind of get into it with a Jirachi there and a Bombardier EX full art. Not too shabby there, but yeah, even if you guys want some more like just kind of basic entry-level videos. I know that this video is a little more high level in terms of what I'm talking about, but it's the stuff that I've gotten into a lot recently, and I've really enjoyed playing. Like, it's honestly made this the hobby so much more fun for me too. So I'd love to kind of share that with you guys too, and I guess make the channel a little bit about like all the sides of Pokemon to some degree. Ampom there and a Ting-Lu. But yeah, no, I like overall really have enjoyed playing. It's really made it fun. Again, going out to tournaments too, which I thought, I mean, if you had told me a couple months ago that I'd be going out and playing in league challenges and league cups or whatever, I would have told you no way, no shot. Like, it would have not been for me. But I mean, I gave it a shot. I got really into it, and now look at me. I'm out here playing at random league cups on the weekends and going to card stores and testing out decks on the weekend. But yeah, no, I've had a ton of fun with it. It has been a awesome change of pace for me. Really, I guess, freshened up the hobby too, and made I guess it honestly, it makes your bulk feel a little bit more valuable too, where sometimes cards like these you might not care about, like an Earthen Vessel there is actually a really playable one. Medical Energy there into a Steenie, into a Yan Mask, and an Iron Hands EX alternate art. Let's go, dude. Oh my goodness, let's go. That's so awesome. I was actually thinking about taking my Miraidon deck. Actually, funny enough, the Miraidon deck I played against with Frank actually ran an Iron Hands, so I actually hit the alternate art one. That is my first alternate art like Pokemon card out of Paradox Rift finally, so we will gladly take the Iron Hands EX there. Oh my goodness, thank goodness. That's an awesome hit. Now, I did mention that I don't like to bling decks out too much, but I'm gonna be honest with you guys, if I decide to tweak my my Miraidon deck, I feel like Iron Hands EX with that alternate art is definitely going in it if I can get this pack open here. Alright, next pack up here. Maybe we can go with something to go along with that Iron Hands. That would be awesome there. But Steenie into a Palkia, into a Nacli, and then a Groudon there, which actually, funny enough, I saw my buddy Noah trying to tech out a Groudon deck recently, so it'll be interesting to see if like some of even the single prizer cards, if they can kind of become even like kind of rogue meta decks, or off meta, I guess would be the term too. Like, all that stuff is kind of neat to me. I do like seeing just random decks that end up popping up, and they're pretty fun to see. But a Simisage there into a Gible, Artillery there, and a Kingdra there, which leaves us with 2 packs left. Definitely leaving Roaring Moon to last, as I threw my Iron Valiant pack out of the way. But yeah, overall, for an ETB that I won in a tournament, I cannot say that this is too bad at all for sure. I mean, an alternate art out of an ETB any day is good, especially when you win that in a Pokemon battle, which cannot go too bad there. Cloth into a Ting Lu, Latios, and another Latios there. All right, so one pack left for the day that we did win. Let's see what's in this one. Again, if we can hit that golden counter catcher, that would be really nice for me. Toxel there, Cyclizar into a Toedscruel, Slitherwing into a Joltik, Ambipom there, and then a Milotic to finish us off. But honestly, can you go wrong with those hits? 3 hits out of 9 packs, not too shabby, especially when one of them is an alternate Iron Hands. But anyways, guys, if you did enjoy this tournament recap and opening up the ETB that I did win, I really appreciate if you dropped a like on the video and let me know if you did enjoy this kind of different stylized of content, kind of almost a story time video, tournament recap. I'd really appreciate it if you gave me your feedback on it in the comments. But anyways, guys, this has been another episode of Nate Collects, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.